Victim of Thought group. It's Jill with another Facebook Live. I don't know if anyone will join me or not, but that's okay. I'm here today to answer a question from one of our members who messaged me privately. And she, I hope to get on a call with her because I think that's the most helpful way to be able to help people. I can keep writing the same things, but, if I can talk to people face to face, it's really a good way to help spur insights. But that wasn't going to work out for us for one reason or another. So I thought, well, maybe the next best thing is to try one of these Facebook Lives to try and answer the question as best I can this way. So that's what I'm trying. I'm going to read you what she had written to me, which was, she said, I still cannot connect properly with the outside in. For 25 years, I blamed my anxiety on the outside circumstances. And when I'm queuing up in a shop, I get a rush of adrenaline through me, just like when someone makes you jump and you get that fear feeling inside you. When I go outside, I feel okay. Any advice, please? So, I'm sure others here may recognize that or may have felt similar things. It sounds like a sort of a panic attack kind of thing to me. But let me go back to the cannot. Hello, Nadine. Let me go back to the cannot connect properly with the outside in. So, just say a little bit about that. There's no. It's not really like a connecting to the outside in. It's really just the way the world works, inside out, actually, not outside in. I should probably change the name on this video now that I think of it. It's inside out. It's just the way things work. Our thoughts create our experience of life from the inside of us. That's what it means by inside out. Outside in is that things outside of us create our feelings instead of our insides create our inside thinking creates our experience and our feelings. So hi Jana. So anybody who feels panic attacks, gets scared by things, which we all do, gets anxiety, it's coming from thought in the moment. So what's happening with this person that messaged me is she gets to a store and her thoughts start to go on her. She may not even notice it because our thoughts, especially our conditioned thoughts, they just happen and we don't know them. We don't notice them. We don't see them. We don't realize they're even happening, but they create the feeling inside of us. So what happens is the chemicals in our body start going right away because perhaps in this case past experiences with being in a store and having a panic attack, her thoughts have gone there again and the chemicals start flowing and causes anxiety, because when the chemicals go into you, it's hormones and all kinds of other adrenaline and those kinds of things, and it just creates the feeling of anxiety. So your heart may be beating fast, you may get a headache, whatever your symptoms are, they're different for everybody. So she says she gets that scared feeling, and that's, even if you don't realize it, it's just thought in the moment happening. Now, that doesn't mean you can do anything about it, stop it, or whatever. What helps is a few things. Getting an insight is really the main thing that helps. And what getting an insight means is you suddenly see what's happening. You suddenly realize that thoughts in and of themselves have no effect on you. They can cause feelings in you, but the thoughts themselves have no power. No, they don't mean anything. You don't have to listen to them. They're not anything that's generally important to us. So there's nothing I can tell this person to do, or that's going to be very helpful. Um, that which is unfortunate. I mean, I hesitated even making this video because I was thinking I'm going to be saying the same thing that I always say. There's nothing to do. Um, it's just seeking evidence all the time about how our thoughts create our feelings. Not in the times when you're in a panic, not when you're in the shop where you generally feel panic, but at other times in your day, little things that happen. Somebody says something to you and you feel upset. How was it coming from you? How was it your thoughts creating that feeling and not the other person? And again, don't do that with somebody close to you, but just somebody you don't even know who maybe said something, or a situation you saw, or even watch TV and watch and see how it happens to other people, how they misunderstand, in a TV show what somebody else says because their thoughts went somewhere else. I mean, it's everywhere. It's in life. It's in shows and movies, TV, because that's the way life really works. And until you believe me, and don't just believe me, until you believe that's the way life works, then you're just still going to be a victim of the circumstances because you don't really see it. And I can't convince you. I mean, I can tell you over and over again that it's your thoughts creating your feelings. And again, this isn't to like blame yourself. So please realize that I'm not saying like, it's your fault, nobody else's fault. It's not your fault at all. It's just something happened to you once a long time ago, maybe, or maybe last week, that you got scared about, and then you now get scared again. That's the way our brains work. It's conditioned behavior. Something happens, we react a certain way. And then the next time it happens, our brain just automatically goes there. But it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to always do the same thing. If we see, oh, this is just my conditioned thought coming again, it can disappear. It's when we add more thought on top of it that it really causes problems. So you start to feel the panic, and then you're like, uh-oh, here we go again, and then the head just goes even more, and then you're in a full-blown panic attack. And again, it's not your fault. Everybody has these things happen to them. We all get anxiety. I still get it all the time. It's just I'm usually able to now remember, and not always, but sometimes I'm able to remember that, okay, this is my thinking. This is thoughts somewhere in my head that's making me feel this way. I don't have to pay attention to it. And sometimes I still do, and I still feel crappy. But more and more, I'm able to see through it. So I don't know if this is going to be helpful. I feel like a broken record with this stuff because that's all I can keep telling you, that just keep looking for evidence that thoughts create your experience in the moment, not the things. Look for it, not when you're panicked. Look for it in other times. And remember that you're fine. Remember, even more important than any of that, that's not you. All those thoughts, all those feelings, that's not you. Under that is always still the perfect you who's observing it all. Even when you're in a panic state, don't you have a piece of you that's looking at it, that's observing it, that can see it happening? That's the real you, that observer. And it's peaceful, it's spacious, and you can go if you connect to that place in you, which you are always connected to. But if you start to feel that place, go towards that feeling, you'll automatically feel better, because that's the real you that always feels good. It's who you are at your core, and it's not anxious ever. It can't be anxious. It's not mad, angry, scared. It's not anything. It's just an observer of life. That's who you are, and it's watching your experience. And it doesn't care if you're having an anxiety attack or not, because it knows you are okay, no matter what. So before I put my foot in my mouth probably any further, I will end this here, and maybe somebody will find this useful. Bye. Have a good weekend, everyone.